How? How did this 2-week phase go all of a sudden again? I can't believe it's been another year. I'm getting so bored of the game. Good day, Minecraft veterans! HangyCow here, back with another video. And in this video, I'll be surviving 100 days of Minecraft Hardcore on a 2-week Minecraft phase. Yes, you heard me correct. Today I'll be surviving 100 days of Minecraft Hardcore on a 2-week Minecraft phase. This is an interesting twist of the 100 days, and I thought I'd do it, as it's becoming a trend. But before I go on the video, I got a few things I have to say. First of all, if you enjoyed this video, since this video took me like 4 months to edit, I would appreciate it if you hit the like button, and please, consider subscribing, because you don't know if you're gonna see me again, and it would really mean the world to me, as we're close to 100k. On top of that, I also hit a PlayStation gift card in the video, so if you can find it and redeem it, good luck to you and big congratulations. Lastly, I'll be putting up a reflection in the end of the video saying how I made my Minecraft phase longer than 2 weeks. Anyways, enough of me rambling and enjoy the video.
Starting things off with day 1, I started off by looking around my area, just like going into third person view, and then decided why not, let me look at some trees and chop down some trees. I started off by chopping down an oak tree, like because they're classic, and then after chopping down a few oak trees and getting some wood, after chopping down the first one actually, I ended up going down to get some stone tools and a furnace. Like I used my wooden pickaxe and then mined 3 stone and then crafted that into a stone pickaxe and then mined the rest for all the stone tools and the furnace. And then after that, I explored some part of a cave and found some iron. And then I used that iron and smelted some wood for charcoal so I could make torches and explore the cave a little bit more, as well as light up the area around. And then I used my stone tools like my stone axe to chop down more trees, and while I was doing that I found a pink sheep as well, but kinda like let it be. And then as I smelted some iron, I made shears to get wool from the iron that I smelted, and got 3 black wool on my first try. Wow, that was amazing. And then I kept shearing the same sheep, and including the pink sheep, which also surprisingly dropped 3 wool. Man, I got lucky that day. After that I got a bucket, and then since I saw a lava pool around, I collected some lava and use it to cook animals, but sometimes would burn myself in the process a little. Ouch! Bruh! Next, I was like looking around, exploring around and stuff, and then I found a village and decided, you know what, this is the place I can settle for the night. So in day 2, I decided, since I was in the village, to check some villager traits, and since I saw some hay bales, I decided to steal the villagers' hay bales. And then also when I saw an iron golem, I decided why not take the iron golem down and get some iron. And after doing all that, I decided, you know what, let me burn some more animals while I'm at it, but sometimes would once again burn myself in the process. God, I need to stop this. Bruh. And then after that, when I was looking around and exploring, even probably burning a few of the animals, I cleared out a part of the mountain to make a temporary home because I was like, you know what, it wasn't good to live with the villagers and I felt like I needed my own house. I made a small house in the mountain that was towering the village, so I could then take a look at the village and like keep an eye on them. So as I dug it out, I decided why not, let me set up my house by putting the crafting bench, making chests and furnaces. And I lit up the inside of my house with some torches and chopped down some acacia trees to make my own bed, and then got a nice glimpse of the sunset and took a screenshot of me outside of my home for the thumbnail and went off to bed.
Day 3, I tried to cook some animals, but once again, almost cooked myself.
Bruh!
After that, I also explored the area and found some caves, and in the caves I found some more iron and coal and mined it, as well as I fought off a zombie. And after fighting off the zombie, I explored the cave further and saw how deep it was, but then backed out immediately seeing that, okay, this is too deep. And then then carried on by cooking some more food with the lava bucket out there, even burning myself some.
Bruh.
After like getting a little bit of food and stuff, I put my iron for smelting into furnaces and chopped down more oak trees around the mountain. And then went off to bed, which concludes day 3. On day 4, I decided to do the following. Put my remaining wool in the chest, craft up a leather chestplate, and even empty out my inventory, and set up a wheat farm. I also used the lava once again to cook some more animals. I refilled my water bucket, and made some bread from the wheat, or hay bales I stole from the villagers. Crafted up some iron and stone tools to get ready for like the mines, and start my mining journey soon. And then, while I was exploring around, I found another village, just like right across from the village I looted. I decided why not, let's loot them too and take down their iron golem. I've been harvesting some of their melons. I ended up making a leather helmet and cooked up some more food and went off to bed. From days 5 through 9, I started off by mining, and I thought, you know what, I should mine and get some diamonds. So I started off by mining and kept digging down up to like Y level 12. This is the level where diamonds usually spawn. And around Y level 12, I set up a place there for me to smelt up and store some of my resources in case if I need to like smelt my ores, store some tools, store some blocks, you get the point. And as I was exploring and like mining down, I found a huge cave and even had to fight some mobs there. And after that, I kept mining for what seemed like, I don't know, like few hours. And as I was mining, I found an underground ruin portal, and believe it or not, right next to that, I found diamonds. But unfortunately, it was only 2 diamonds at first, but that would soon change, as while I was exploring and fighting more mobs, I eventually found more diamonds. But after finding the more diamonds and stuff, I ended up running out of torches, so instead of having to use torches, I ended up having to get some lava and use that as my light source, even sometimes accidentally burning myself almost to death once.
Bruh.
After that, I find my way around a cave and back to the tunnels I made when mining, which leads me to my staircase, where I just go back. I make a diamond sword and pickaxe just to put aside the iron and stone tools, and then decided, you know what, I have had enough with the mine, I'm gonna go back up. And I left my iron ores and all the other ores smelting in the furnace, like in my house, right up on the surface, and decided, you know what, let me explore the village more. I'm more kitted out, I have more armor, got better tools, probably like the most strongest ones, and then explored the village, checked to see if there's anything around more, and explored something across what seemed like a river, and on the other side of the villages, I found a place with a ravine and a potential place to build my own house. I did explore that cave too, and ran into mobs, a mine shaft, and guess what? Even more diamonds, something I was not expecting. Then, I came back to the surface and mined some obsidian for an enchantment table, and then just went off to bed, completing off those days. Most of day 10, I forgot I was recording, and just fought a few mobs off and just went back to bed. That was it. On day 11, I tried repairing my iron armor, but I couldn't because I didn't have that many levels. Although it kinda sucked I couldn't do it, but then after that I was like, I need an enchantment table and some bookshelves, so I thought I'd collect some sugarcane and sand that I found near the village, and made a sugarcane farm right outside of my house. And then after that, I took down some animals and even fought a few mobs, and made my enchanting table as a lasting in a day, and just went off to bed. On day 12, I decided to carve out an area for my AFK fish farm, thinking, you know what, I need a farm just because I need some food and some levels. Just saying, I do have a tutorial on this on my YouTube channel. I'll put a link about that in the description below. But enough about that, so I carve out the area a little bit, and after that, I decided, you know what, I need to go in the cave to explore, and probably get my redstone. So I end up exploring the cave, get the redstone, and finish off and set up my AFK fish farm, and then just go off to bed. From days 13 through 36, I decided, you know what, I need to AFK fish farm. So what I did was I left the AFK fish farm on overnight, and decided, you know what, I'll just go to bed and leave this running. That way I'll get a lot of food and a lot of experience levels too. Pause. If you're enjoying this video, please be sure to leave a like on the video. And check to see if you're subscribed, because according to YouTube statistics, you most likely aren't subscribed, and it's my childhood dream to be a YouTuber, so if you could please fulfill that by clicking the subscribe button. We're really close to 100k, and it would really mean the world to me. Also, another thing is that whatever I'm doing in the video, I have tutorials of, like this AFK fish farm that we just made, and also like how to find diamonds. There'll be much more tutorials on this, and if I do not have any tutorial, comment it down below, and if I end up doing it, I'll credit you with a shout out. And whatever tutorials I have, it'll be in the description of the video if you want to check them out. But anyways, enough of me rambling, let's get right back into this amazing video and see what happens next. From days 37 through 38, after I did my AFK fish farming overnight, I decided, you know what, now is the time for me to build up a house. So I found an area and started digging out for what was going to be the place for my house. And then after that, I set up some chests and a crafting table there. And unfortunately, since my house is going to be a pretty big project, I decided, you know what, I'll sleep in my old house, like where I survived my first night. From days 39 through 40, I thought, you know what, I'd cook up the fish I got from my farm, in case if I get hungry, and thought it'd be a good food source. And then after I got the cooked up fish, I decided, you know what, I'll make a boat and set sail to the place where I was building up my house. Getting ready to build it up, I should say. And then when I went up to that place, I started to keep making the area flat for my house, and while I was digging out the area to make sure it'd be leveled for my house, I also fought off some mobs at night, and kept digging the area out, and was lucky enough to survive that night. On day 41, I started off by getting some materials from my house, and after I got a good amount of materials, like the wood, cobblestone, you name it, I used a boat to get to my house, to where I was building. Like, the place, you know, where I was building and had the land leveled out. And I started off by making a diagram for my house. I started building it up a little bit with cobblestone. On day 42, I started building up my house with wooden planks after the cobblestone was done and in the right levels. After that, as I was building it up, I started to realize, oh no, I'm running out of wood. So I had to collect more oak wood and had to chop down a lot more oak trees. Here's a montage. After I chopped down a ton of trees, I decided, you know what, I'd lit up the first floor of my house. I'd light it all up, make sure it's all good, so that no monsters spawn in. And then since I had a little bit of wool and stuff, I thought, you know what, I'd just go to bed outside of my house. On day 43, I went back to my old house in the mountains to collect some materials. I know I ran out of materials again, and was like, you know what, instead of being near my house for once, or that house that's under construction I should say, I'll go back to my house where I survived the first night. And I decided, you know what, I'll go there, and I chopped down some oak trees and used some of their logs to build up my home, and started to build on the second level more. Like, yeah, building up the second floor, I should say. And then after that, I just went to bed outside my house that's under construction. From days 44 through 45, I chopped down more trees, collected some sand for windows in my house, put furnaces next to my chest so I can smelt more, and then decided, you know what, I'll keep building up the second floor of my house. On day 46, I decided, you know what, I needed to collect more wood. So I started off by bone mealing a lot of trees, and got the wood there. Then, after I got a good amount of wood, I ended up finishing off the second level of my house. Finally, the second level is done. One more level to go only. On day 47, I started off by working on the final floor of my house by placing in more oak logs and glasses for window. I started off by building the roof and using stairs, and went in to collect more oak wood since I kept running out of wood. But during the time, I was also beat up by a drowned who kept throwing a trident at me. Luckily though, I managed to get over it and just went off to bed. On day 48, I kept working more on the roof of the house and the final floor, obviously. I made some diagrams for how the roofs should be like with some windows on that floor. And to top off the day, I MLG water bucket clutched my way down to the bed. On day 49, I chopped down more and more oak trees to get more wood for the house I kept building, as I was running out of wood pretty fast. After chopping down a lot of trees, I ended up finishing off most of the roof, besides putting in the exterior part of the stairs for the final floor. Day 50, wow, we're already halfway there. So I ended up working a little bit more on the house, like the exterior part, and my iron axe broke while I was just trying to chop down some oak planks. And I got nearly done with the stairs part of the roof, like, the exterior part. And since I saw I ran out of wood, I was like, you know what, I'll call it a day and go to bed. I know we made it halfway through the hardcore series right now, but if you do end up enjoying the video, leave a like on it and comment the word 2 week so I know what you're enjoying. And also, if you want any tutorials on any of the buildings or whatever I've done in this world, comment down below, and if I end up doing your tutorial, I'll shout you out. But anyway, guys, let's get back to the video on this interesting journey, where some things take a turn. On day 51, I finally finished off the roof, and decided, you know what, I'll start working more on the windows of the first floor, and more interior side of things within the house, with a little bit more work on the exterior porch that I'll be making soon. I mainly focused on the interior, like getting the floor ready, and probably even a few windows, and who knows, maybe soon I'll get some furniture and a staircase. On day 52, I decided, you know what, I'll work more on the exterior part of things, like where the balcony and porch will be, and while I was working on that, I realized, oh no, I had to go back to my first night house, or the mountain house, to get more materials, as I nearly ran out of the materials, and started smelting stone to cobblestone, cobblestone to stone, sorry, and then make it into smooth stone, which was quite a long process, as well as I'd also smelt some sand I'd find for glass, and even collected more wood to get fuel for the furnaces. And since it became dark, I also had to fight some mobs, and since the former home, or my soon-to-be former home, was nearby, I decided, you know what, I'll spend the night there for day 52. On day 53, I decided, you know what, I'll keep smelting more of my cobblestone and turning it into smooth stone. On top of that, since I was in my old house, or soon-to-be old house like how I was saying, I harvested my sugarcane and took my smooth stone to the home I was building, and started building up the balcony. And while I was building up everything, I started to see that a lot of the land was not flat, so I had to terraform a little bit of the land, so I did that in the process and completed off day 53. On day 54, it was raining, and I ended up deciding, you know what, on this rainy day, I'll collect up more wood, because once again, I ran out. Play the wood montage, please. After I got all that wood, I completed off my balcony with a few fences, and even added some windows to my house. And decided, you know what, since I needed some more smooth stone, I went off to my mountain house, where I left some of it smelting, and then came back and completed off day 54. On day 55, after chopping down a lot of trees, I decided, you know what, I'm taking off my armor because its durability was getting low. And then, since I was around my old home, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna spend the night there once again. On day 56, I collected more smooth stone and glass from my furnaces. I also took down a spider in daylight. After that, I chopped down more oak trees near my old house, because near my new house, as I had chopped down so many trees, you'd have to travel a huge distance to chop down more and find more oak trees. On top of that, on the way, I even sheared a few more sheep, made a few beds, and for once, instead of using a boat, I swam up to my new house and finished off my porch and replaced the interior floor to wood from dirt. On day 57, I made a staircase in my brand new home that would connect floors 1 and 2. I also made some walls for my interior so I can separate out the room. I also had to once again chop down more trees, and even accidentally broke more glass. And after all that, I finally managed to sleep in my new home. Finally, at last, this new comfortable home I'm able to sleep in. On day 58, I made 2 rooms for my 3rd floor, even separated the staircases in a different room. After that, Since a lot of my old stuff was in the old home, I had to go back to that old house to enchant my armor, and thought, you know what, I'll also try to AFK fish farm for 2 minutes while I was there too. And decided, you know what, I'll call it a night and sleep off there. On day 59, I gathered up all of my enchantment tables, anvils, any of my items, including my furnaces and chests, to take to my new home. I was like, you know what, I've had enough of this place. I want to live in that comfortable home. And I decided, you know what, since there was still a little bit more work to do for my porch, I worked a little bit more on my porch once I got there, obviously, and also added some doors to my house rooms and put most of my items in the chests, as I can't carry everything in the inventory. After that, I ended up going back to my old home and picked up more of my items to give it to the new home. On day 60, I decided, you know what, I'll check more of my chests and furnaces to see if there was anything else I could pick up from my old home and take it to my new home, just as one final check. And after I checked that, I fought a few spiders and even a skeleton wearing gold armor that day, and somehow I managed to get the skeleton to hit another spider with its arrow. And the spider even took down the skeleton, who thought he was king. After that, I went back to my new house to put some more of the items in the chest as a move-in day once again. I got the last bits of my items from my chest in the old house and shifted it all the way to the new house. On day 61, I got some birchwood to make more chests, as birchwood was the closest wood to my new home. I also set up my enchantment table and anvils with a few chests. On top of that, I decided to go back near my old home to get some obsidian and obtain it to make a nether portal, like plans for a nether portal later down the line. On day 62, I broke out of the house since I was too lazy to walk out from the front door. I ended up making a nether portal outside of my house and tried to complete off my porch, but somehow managed to be a few blocks short. I ended up going into the nether to get some netherrack and quartz, and was like, you know what, the nether is a little bit too dangerous, so I ended up exiting the nether to find out that I got teleported to a portal about 60 blocks away from my new home. Thank God it wasn't too far off. I ended up spelting up more stone and finished off my porch. I even enchanted my diamond sword, pickaxe, iron axe, and shovel. Then I took down that nether portal that was on the mountain 50 blocks away from my house. On day 63, I took down a nether portal that was outside my house, because I felt like it was too much of a risk where it spawned. On top of that, I took down a creeper with my enchanted diamond sword. I also mined for some wheat seeds around the area, and then used a flint and steel to burn pigs, and even get cooked food. And then I made a nether portal on the mountain that was behind my house, went in only to find out that, God, it was the same place, making me not want to rush it too much. After that, I went to the village, one of the villages near the house, and did some fishing and took down some fish in the water to tame a cat. And decided, you know what, I'll spend a night in that village. On days 64 to 65, I tamed a cat and took it back to my old house, since I was more closer to that old house. I also decided, you know what, I'll make another nether portal on the mountain that was near my old house, and saw it took me someplace different. I ended up getting a lot of bone blocks and quartz, and then decided, you know what, I'll get out of the nether and once again use my flint and steel to cook more animals for food, and went back to my new house. On day 66, I terraformed more of the land near my house, with plans and hopes for a backyard someday. I also dug a little bit underneath my house to make plans for a basement soon, and while I was doing that, I found a water cave and knew I needed to clear it off right away. So I started to do just that, and slowly cleared off most of it. On day 67, I continued working on making that basement underneath my home, and kept cleaning out the stone and dirt that was also underneath the house. Alongside that, while I was working on the basement, I did have some water leakages too that were so annoying, but I ended up patching them up too. On day 68, I decided, you know what, I'll clear up more stone and dirt that was underneath my home. And while I was doing that, I thought about, you know what, as I came up to repair my diamond pickaxe. But instead, just ended up crafting up a new iron shovel so I can preserve my diamond tools. Day 69 was more like working a little bit more on my basement, and also like going out, even touching grass, and having to get more wood for the furnaces. On days 70 through 71, I gathered up some of the stone that was smelting in the furnaces, and then decided, you know what, I need to put in more cobblestone to smelt. After that, I went around searching for some trees, and found some birch trees and chopped them down because oak trees started to get further as I chopped most of them down. This also cleared out a good chunk of the birch trees. After that, I took out some cobblestone from my chests and flattened out part of the land that was behind my home. After flattening the land, I explored a cave that deceived to look like it was going as deep as diamond level. Or so I thought. I got a little bit of coal and dug a little bit more into the cave to see if it went deeper than what it was looking like. However though, I did find more coal and iron, and later as I was going down, made tunnels that led to ravines and caves. Slowly, I made my way down and even fought off mobs, and somehow found diamonds. Yay! I also explored more of the cave, took down an enderman, who luckily dropped an enderman. I found some gold as well, and left some iron for smelting. After that, I also got a water bucket, but then realized that, you know what, I was done with the cave and needed to go back. And well, initially I had a lot of trouble finding my way back, but somehow I luckily found my way back, and when I did come back to the surface, it was late at night, but surprisingly, pretty close to my home. On days 72 to 75, I got a lot of iron pickaxe and realized I needed to start mining by digging a tunnel to diamond level. This time being more prepared, unlike the last time where I just got lucky and found diamonds. And well, this time again, I found diamonds, even got some lapis, and got back to the surface, and once again, luckily it was close to my home. After that, I decided, you know what, I need to visit the nether. So, I made the portal, grabbed a bunch of bone blocks that were near the portal, fought off a few skeletons, and since I was seeing that, okay, this is kinda dangerous, I'll go back to the overworld, where shortly after that, started the rain. I ended up dropping all the netherrack and bone blocks into a chest, and then got my cat to my old home. On days 76 through 77, I went back to the nether, this time through the portal near my old home, and I fought some piglin brutes. While I was exploring, I also found a bastion and decided, you know what, I'll loot it, even taking the golden blocks, and along the way found some diamond leggings in one of the chests. And while I was exploring around, I also was attacked by a ghast when I was finding my way back to the portal. On days 78 through 97, I was still in the nether, kinda lost, so I was trying to find my way back, which I have to say was tough and annoying. But eventually, after a lot of exploring and looking around, I finally got back to my old nether portal, and made it back near my old home. When I came back, I was welcomed by a sheep trying to enter the nether. After that, I went into my old home as the AFK fish farm was there, and decided, you know what, I'll leave my computer on and just go AFK for the time being, not realizing it'll be a lot more longer than what I was expecting.
Bruh.
On days 98 through 99, which started off with me realizing that 100 days was almost up due to me leaving my computer on for the AFK fishing. So I quickly sprang into action and scrambled to get the materials for a dispenser and some redstone for the fireworks to happen. I even bone mealed part of the land to get some flowers so that then the fireworks are more colorful. Now it's day 100. This day I just chilled out on the roof, just knowing that the 100 days was up. I was waiting for it to be nighttime so that then I could play my music disc and watch the fireworks from my roof. This was such an amazing journey. Now it's time for the reflection. Now let's reflect on these 100 days of Minecraft Hardcore on the 2-week phase. First of all, the experience. It stands out as a journey of creativity, persistence, and slow and steady progress. Unlike your typical rush to go ahead and beat the Ender Dragon that many of the OG players might prioritize, I embraced a more slower pace. Each day had its own unique rhythm, whether it was going around exploring the area, mining for resources, building up a base, or simply surviving the night's dangers. There was joy in discovery, from finding diamonds, taming cats, dogs, trading at villagers, and moments of accomplishment in finishing my wooden house from the construction handbook, or enchanting my tools and armor. The choice to extend this phase beyond your typical 2-week phase added depth to the adventure. It wasn't just about beating the Ender Dragon and reaching the endgame, but not rushing it and savoring and enjoying every part of the process. From planning those builds to mastering survival techniques, like the cooking food with lava, even when I occasionally burnt myself on fire. That was funny. But building my house and working on the small details like adding the porch and trying to make a basement turned what could have been your typical 100 days where you rush to beat the Ender Dragon. But in the end, I feel like I didn't rush it. I tried to go to the Nether, but most importantly, I took my time, instead tried to have a creative outlet on this and learned from each mistake that most of the OG players were doing, and actually enjoyed the beauty of the game. From be it the sunsets, mining, fireworks on that roof on the last day, wow. This approach of taking things slow and focusing on enjoyment over rushing it actually made the experience feel even more rewarding. Let me know how you feel in the comments and if you're on a 2-week phase. I hope this helps you make that 2-week phase last a little longer. And with that, I want to say thank you all very much for watching. I hope you all end up enjoying the video. If you did, leave a like, share it with your friends, and please consider subscribing, because this video took me a very long time to make, 4 months to edit. And on top of that, I do amazing tutorials, some of which are already in my YouTube channel that were featured in the 100 days of hardcore Minecraft. Also guys, speaking of tutorials, if you do have an idea of a tutorial you'd like, comment it down below, and if I do yours, you'll be credited. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.